Hey everyone, good evening. This is Ash from COZ. We are here to talk to you about the migration process from the old desktop wallet, Neon2, to the new desktop wallet that we've recently launched, Neon3. I'll try to explain how this process works, explain what it entails, and also what you can do after you are done. We can take a couple points and questions that we've seen in the community out of the way right away, such as this is not actually on-chain migration process, such as what we've seen in the past from legacy, Neo legacy to Neon3. This is completely off-chain and self-custodial in your machine specifically. You would just be creating an export file with the data that you already have on Neon2 to be used on Neon3. It's worth mentioning that this file is encrypted with the related passwords for each of those accounts that you already have on Neon2. So you need those passwords to complete the migration process on Neon3. So this guarantees extra safety for your data when exported in that file format. But it also means that you must have that password for each of those accounts on Neon2 in order to complete the migration process on Neon3. Okay. This also doesn't mean that you won't be able to use Neon2 after you're done migrating your accounts. It just means that you have a bit of an easier time using your existing accounts and wallets on Neon3 after you're done with it. You can even use both wallets at the same time, as I will be demonstrating in this video. Okay, so let's get into it. As you can see on Neon2, I have a couple accounts in place. They have each their own password, and I'm going to try and migrate those to Neon3. We can just click Migrate Wallets. It will ask me to download the new Neon wallet, Neon3. I already have it installed, as you can see here on the right side, so I don't need to go to this step. Once you're done downloading it, we can go to the next step. Here, it asks us to select a file in the system where we want to save the export file that will be generated. So let's go ahead with that. I already have a folder created for that purpose. I'll just select this folder and click Next. So done. It has already created the export file. If I go to that folder, I can see that we have the export file created. Okay. It has this Neon2 wallets backup naming format, and it's a JSON file. Okay. So we are done with the Neon2 side of things. We can now move to Neon3. When we start Neon3, there is an onboarding screen that I'm already past that point. It's just some information about Neon3. And we have the basic login screen. This is the screen we see before we set up an account. Otherwise, it would be asking for a password if I already have a password set. So I can create a new wallet. I can import an external wallet, or even in this case, I import a backup file that was created from Neon3 itself, just for safety, but we won't be using any of those right now. We'll focus on the migration process. Oh, of course, just to reinforce, you can also log in using your hardware wallet directly without having to set up a password, or even use a public address, a private key, or a mnemonic to log in directly as well without the need of a password. Okay. So focusing on the migration process from Neon2, we can just click this button. It will ask us to set up a password for our application for safety purposes. So I set up a password. And now it asks me to find that exact file we just generated from Neon2. So I just reach for that folder and the new file I just generated, select it, and hit next. Now it's just showing me those exact two accounts that I already had on Neon2, asking me to select if I want to migrate one or both of them. I can select just one if I wanted, but let's go with both those accounts. And now I need to provide the password for them. Okay, if I provide the wrong password, it's going to point that out for me. So let's go ahead and use the correct one. Done. Okay, so we are safe here and we just migrate those accounts. Now I can even download my password for just for backup purposes if I wanted in the QR code format. And I will open my application. So this is Neon3, the basic interface. we can see that it already created our migrated wallet. It has those two accounts from Neo3 that we had set on Neon2. Okay, so it's the exact two accounts I already have in there, as you can see here. I can actually use both applications at the same time, such as, let's go ahead and do that. I will just log into this one. And okay, so if I get some new tokens while using Neon3 in this account, I will be able to see that being reflected when using it on Neon2 as well. What's not going to be reflected is if I try to add new accounts here, import mnemonics, private keys, public addresses, and the same if I do that from on the Neon2 side. There is no direct link at this point. It was just a migration done through that export file we used. So it is just a sharing of data at that snapshot we took. And that's basically it. So now you guys are ready to continue using your Neo experience, to have your Neo experience on Neon3 with the wallets and accounts you already had on Neon2 without having to go through the hurdle of actually exporting each one of them from Neon2 manually and importing their private keys or mnemonics on Neon3. Okay, that's the gist of it. I hope this video helps you guys understand a bit of this process. Again, no on-chain activity was done whatsoever. It is just a support file to help quickly export on all your multiple accounts you might have on Neon2 to continue using them in the new and improved Neon3 and all the existing features that we've already implemented, such as we have NeoX support, as well as the new and upcoming features that we have on their way to Neon3. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Have a good evening. Bye bye.